John Lennon's Imagine is currently ringing around Goodison Park, and now both sets of players are gathering with the match officials around the centre circle, and there is a huge banner in the Ukrainian colours saying "Imagine all the people sharing all the world." And that is the sentiment which I think we can all share at the moment. The Boreham Wood players have also come out with one of their shirts carrying Mykolenko's name and number, and there is no doubt they are united with both him and Everton here this evening. There are Everton fans in tears around us in the main stand. And as the banner is taken down, we have a roar of appreciation from everybody inside Goodison Park. We've been talking this game up, Kevin, but at the end of the day, it is only a game.
Yeah, it is only a game, but we do feel for Mykolenko and the Ukraine, don't we? So, look, it's a great touch by Boreham Wood, and now it's battle. It's time for battle.
And Boreham Wood wearing their all-black kit, which has been donated to them by Everton in the build-up to this game. Everton in their famous royal blue shirts, white shorts and white socks. Tony Harrington is our referee, calling the two captains towards him. And there was a handshake for Vitaly Mykolenko, the Everton captain for this evening. We saw Alexander Zinchenko take the armband for Manchester City against Peterborough on Tuesday. Big football clubs in the world's biggest league doing the right thing at a time of global crisis. Every single gesture can have an impact, and Everton, of course, supporting their Ukrainian player here this evening. And it's Mark Ricketts at the age of 37 who is the leader for Boreham Wood on the field, but they will need leaders right throughout their team tonight. Everybody's got to step up.
Yeah, I think Boreham Wood have got quite a lot of experienced players in their ranks. Maybe not at this level, but you know, in the non-league game, etc., they've played a lot of games, so they're going to need to lean on those players to help them tonight.
And there is thunderous applause from the main stand here at Goodison Park as Mykolenko comes across to give the backroom team a monument given to him by Boreham Wood before this game. And it's the non-league side who will get the match underway. 5 rounds, 5 clean sheets for Boreham Wood so far. And now they finally face Premier League opposition here at Goodison Park, one of the great cathedrals of English football. A place in the quarter-finals is at stake. A match away to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park as both sets of players take the knee before kick-off to highlight the ongoing drive and ongoing need for diversity and inclusivity. And it's Boreham Wood who get the game underway in the FA Cup 5th round, live on TalkSport inside a vibrant Goodison Park. It is an absolute sellout here as the gentle rain falls at kick-off time. Boreham Wood wearing all black, attacking the Gladys Street away to our left-hand side in the first half. Stevens with a long throw down the line. We should watch out for those the longer the evening goes on. It's then scooped into the area by Raymond, and it goes behind, and Asmir Begovic will have a goal kick for Everton. And we've spoken so much about Boreham Wood, Kevin, but what would Frank Lampard's message have been before kick-off?
Frank Lampard's message has to be a positive one. Go out and win the game. We know who we're playing against. We know they're non-league. We're not going to disrespect them. We're going to respect them. But we've got to go and win the game. Got to be positive.
Marsh with a cross into the penalty area for Boreham Wood, seeking out Bowden at the far post, but it just goes beyond the veteran and drifts behind, and it will be a goal kick. But very quickly, Boreham Wood finding room in behind this Everton defence.
Yeah, they moved into position very quickly indeed. You know, look, Everton, they have to be vigilant, because what you don't want to do is just think it's going to be easy and then you get surprised, a goal down. So, really important.
Kevin Campbell, the former Everton striker and FA Cup winner with Arsenal, with us here at Goodison Park this evening as Boreham Wood look to try and attack again, but Rees is penalised for just pulling down Allen, and it will be a free kick for Everton. And Michael Keane is over it, and he was in the Burnley side which lost to Lincoln City back in 2017. The previous occasion when a Premier League side has lost to non-league opposition in the FA Cup, and the only occasion since the war in which a non-league team has reached the quarter-finals. So he has some unwelcome history to look back on this evening as he brings the ball forward now for Everton, has support from Decore, and now it's wide to one of the youngsters, Branthwaite, part of a back three this evening with Patterson on one side, the right, and Mykolenko starting on the far side as Mykolenko has it now. Back in field towards Branthwaite, and Boreham Wood out of possession, very well organised in the early stages.
For me, Boreham Wood are doing the right thing. They're not just sitting back, they're pushing midfielders and strikers to really put Everton under pressure and form a wall in front of them to try to stop Everton playing through them. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can.
3 minutes played, 0-0 here at Goodison Park. Absolutely bursting at the seams as the cross is swung in by Townsend, but it's a claim for Aspie Hammond, the young goalkeeper on loan from Fulham. He's kept clean sheets, of course, in the FA Cup so far this season. Nathan Ashmore was injured in October, which is why Aspie Hammond was brought into the side, and he's enjoyed the ride since with Boreham Wood in the FA Cup. They've beaten Barnet, Eastleigh, St Albans, Wimbledon and Bournemouth so far, and have not conceded a goal in those 5 previous games. Everton, of course, had real problems in the third round away to Hull before eventually coming through 3-2 after extra time, and it was more straightforward here in Frank Lampard's first game in charge when they beat Brentford by 4-1, and they made progress from round 5 in the last 5 occasions in which they've got this far in the FA Cup. As Begovic will take another goal kick. Jordan Pickford not in the matchday squad this evening. Of course, the likes of Van der Beek, Ali and El Ghazi all cup tied. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still injured, so Solomon Rondon gets an opportunity in attack as Everton try and play the ball out, and they do it with very little conviction before Kenny plays it forward now towards Townsend, midway inside the Everton half, wide to Branthwaite down their left, short towards Gordon, and back into the path of the teenager, and now Allen will sweep it forward, but it's quickly cut out by Stevens, and Boreham Wood will clear their lines once again. But Everton inviting the press there, and Boreham Wood pressed.
Yeah, they invited it, Boreham Wood came and they beat the press. That's going to be very important. They've got to play that really quick through the press and then get in at that back four.
Now Townsend for Everton, working it wide to this near side, the right, low ball in from Patterson, cut out by Stevens at the near post, and it's cleared away before Patterson comes in to quickly close down Jacob Mendy, the Gambian-born player, and it will be a throw-in for Boreham Wood on this near side. 5 minutes played on TalkSport at a damp and dank Goodison Park. It's 0-0 between Everton and Boreham Wood. 78 places between these two sides at kick-off time, but as it was pointed out to me before kick-off, Bournemouth, who were beaten by Boreham Wood in the previous round, are now only 5 places below Everton. Everton, of course, 17th in the Premier League, a point clear of Burnley, and they travel to Spurs on Monday in another huge game for them in what is now a battle against relegation. Boreham Wood 4th in the National League, 8 points behind the leader Stockport, but they do have 3 games in hand, and they may be looking to go through the playoffs once again. They've been defeated twice in the postseason in the National League before. This is headed away by John Joe Kenny for Everton on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Boreham Wood. Their supporters in great voice on the far side, 1,800 of them here tonight for a club which averages around 900 on regular home games in the National League. And their chairman was complaining only a couple of years ago that their crowds were too low and they were getting 400 and 500 for league games, but Danny Hunter has a very different picture to look back on here tonight, as there is pressure from Tyrone Marsh, a hurried clearance from John Joe Kenny, and now Mendy gathers for Boreham Wood on this near side. There's a nutmeg on Patterson, but Patterson recovers to get his body between Mendy and the ball, but now Patterson is hemmed in by the corner flag on this near side, but Decore is there to help him out, and Everton clear their lines in accomplished fashion. But now Allen is closed down very quickly by Rees, and Boreham Wood here are right in Everton's faces in the early stages.
Boreham are not giving them a chance. They're not giving them a chance to settle or to even get the opportunity to play through the midfield. Really good play by Boreham.
And Everton have not been beaten by non-league opposition in the FA Cup since 1912, when Swindon beat them in the quarter-finals. Most recently, Tamworth played here in 2012 and were beaten by 2-0. And the last time Everton played a non-league side here in the 5th round, it was Telford back in 1985, when Telford brought 11,000 fans with them. And that's the highest number of away fans which have been in Goodison Park ever since. Everton were on the way to the league title that year, although they missed out on the double, losing to Manchester United in the final. Now Rondon coming forward for Everton. The pass is behind Kenny, but it's picked up by Decore. The shot fired in from the far side, but it's blocked initially, but Everton still have it back inside the area. Decore allows it to run here for Allen, and now it's wide to Patterson on this near side. Rondon waits in the centre. Townsend will look to attack the penalty area now, goes for the curler, left-footed from the corner of the box and gets it all wrong, and it's high over the top.
Andros Townsend made space for himself on the left, on the right-hand side of Everton's attack. Dropped his shoulder, and really he tends to bend those into the far corner, but just got it a little bit wrong. But that was well played by Everton. Good break.
And it was Michaelenko with the earlier shot, which was beaten out by Ashby Hammond. That would have been some story had he opened his Everton account on the night when he is their captain. But it's a goal kick which Ashby Hammond will take. 8 minutes played here on TalkSport at Goodison Park. And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, as Branthwaite heads it wide to the far side. Michaelenko in field to Allen. And then Michaelenko goes all the way back to Michael Keane, whose late error contributed to Manchester City's winning goal here live on TalkSport last Saturday. But it was a much improved performance from Everton, and although they lost, it's given them something to build on, as Branthwaite looks to bring the ball out from the back, and Gordon plays the ball in field. And now Kenny has it on this near side. But Patterson quickly takes over. Kenny playing as one of 3 central defenders here this evening. Of course, has spent much of his Everton career so far playing as a fullback, but he maybe has the mobility to work as part of a back three. Now Branthwaite, wide on the left-hand side, infield towards Decore once again. Nearly 10 minutes played. Still 0-0. Really good atmosphere inside Goodison Park for this FA Cup 5th round tie. The winners travelling to Crystal Palace in the quarter-finals. Now Kenny coming forward for Everton once again. Patterson all the way back towards Allen. A good ball inside the penalty area. Decore made the run, fires the shot in from the right side of the penalty area, tight angle, and he ripples the side netting.
That was a really good run by Decore. Very patient Everton in and around the box, and he makes a great move, one to the ball, one in behind the defence, and just gets his shot wrong, but really good movement there.
And Luke Gara just standing there and then turns back to his technical area, and he's smiling, and maybe he's just relieved his team is still 0-0 here, but they're playing their part in this game.
They definitely are. I'm impressed with them at the moment.
Clearance from Ashby Hammond goes straight out of play, and don't forget you can stay one step ahead of all the action tonight with the TalkSport Edge app, and our Match Centre gives you faster live scores plus team news and the latest from your club, and download on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. And breakfast will be looking back on this game tomorrow morning with Alan Brazil, Ray Parlour and Trevor Sinclair. Of course, Ian Abrahams has been embedded in the Boreham Wood camp all week, and we'll be hearing from him as the evening progresses, as Gordon fastens onto a flick from Rondon on the edge of the penalty area, and he was just clipped there as he advanced towards goal, and it will be an Everton free kick. It was Raymond who caught him, and it's a free kick for Everton, central area, 25 yards out.
I've been really impressed by Gordon. That was really good play. Quick flick by Rondon, frees Gordon. I think, it was a professional foul, but it was one that was needed because he was bearing down on the goal.
Free kick, which Gordon and Townsend are over. And Gordon does have the ability to whip this ball in. But Although Townsend with the left foot may prefer it. And every single black shirt is back here for Boreham Wood, defending on the edge of the penalty area, and it's a very tall wall as well, so there will need to be some elevation here from either Townsend or Gordon. And this is the first real opportunity for Everton to put pressure on Boreham Wood. Tony Harrington, the referee, is just pushing the wall back the 10 yards. Real expectation around Goodison Park. Townsend limbering up for the free kick, but it's left for Gordon to curl it, and it thuds into the wall. Tyrone Marsh took it full in the face. Everton have the ball back on this near side. It's with Patterson on the right, but Marsh has got up and now wins it back, and he'll try and move forward for Boreham Wood, but Townsend comes back to win it back for Everton. Here is Kenny finding Allen, and Everton now look to switch it wide to the right hand side, but Keane inside the centre circle, and every time Everton look up they do see a wall of black ahead of them. But here is Rondon, who makes that run into the penalty area once again, and he was flagged offside though as the shot whizzed over the angle.
Some of the movement from the Everton forwards and midfielders are excellent. They've obviously done their homework, watched the videos about how Boreham would set up, and that off the shoulder run is nearly paying dividends.
And is that often the difference you'll have played as a Premier League striker against lower division teams? That movement inside the area can often be the way of unlocking lower division sides.
Yeah, definitely. The speed of thought and the speed of movement, that's what tends to get you past the lower divisions.
Ashby Hammond will now take the goal kick for Boreham Wood. 13 minutes played here on TalkSport in the FA Cup. It's 0-0. I'll remind you of the quarter-final draw shortly as Patterson guides it back to Begovic. So the winner of this tie will be travelling to Selhurst Park to face Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest or Huddersfield meet live on TalkSport 2 on Monday. Big carrot for them. Liverpool at home in the quarter-finals. Middlesbrough have another big tie. They're at home to Chelsea, and Southampton will play Manchester City. And those ties will be played across the weekend of the 19th and 20th of March in a couple of weeks' time. Now Kenny for Everton, just in front of us down their right, lofted forward for Townsend. Patterson makes the run in behind, and he looks to break into the penalty area, but Mendy comes across and does well to cut off the route towards goal at the expense of a corner.
Patterson has impressed me. He's impressed me at right wing back tonight. Very tenacious, loves to get forward, so I think the Goodison faithful are going to like him.
Well, he's inherited the number 3 shirt vacated by Leighton Baines, so there's a bit of pressure there because he was very popular.
Big pressure, very big pressure.
Corner's played short by Gordon, in towards Townsend. It's set up for the back heel towards Gordon, and Gordon works his way into the penalty area, pulled back towards the near post, but it was Gordon with the shot which was wide.
Yeah, I think the big defender Branthwaite just got in there. Yeah, he just got in there and put one wide. Probably the wrong player to pick out, but good play by Everton.
Branthwaite did score the late equaliser at Chelsea before Christmas when Rafa Benitez put out a very young team, and they performed really well for him, possibly their last really good performance under his management. But it will be a goal kick which Ashby Hammond will take with 15 minutes played here at Goodison Park, and we are still goalless. Branthwaite wins the ball above Bowden in the air. Now Mikalenko looking to take on Marsh. Mikalenko's ball forward onto the chest of Rondon, inviting the run forward, and it's Gordon who was almost played in by Mikalenko, but Boreham Wood will clear once again, and their 3 central defenders, Will Evans, Dave Stevens and Connor Stevens, are being given a stiff examination at the moment, and the wide players in particular on this near side, Jacob Mendy just having 1 or 2 problems with players making those moves in between the lines. Now Allen forward towards Doucouré, who has time to pick up the ball with his back to goal, 30 yards out, wide towards Mikalenko in front of the Boreham Wood supporters on the far side, flicked on towards the edge of the area by Townsend, and then the back pass all the way back to Ashby Hammond, who clears long downfield. The ball's not won in the air by Boreham Wood, but it almost drops to Rees, and now the captain Ricketts plays it wide to the far side, but Branthwaite will get there before Rees And it's all the way back towards Asmir Begovic, who has not had a huge amount to do so far, but predictably perhaps, much of the players revolving inside the Boreham Wood half. Frank Lampard, who won 4 FA Cups as a player with Chelsea, and he scored the winner against Everton back in 2009. And he took Chelsea to the final as a manager, but he was beaten by Arsenal back in 2020. But he knows that any sort of victory here tonight is all that matters for Everton before they can briefly turn their attention, he would hope, towards league matters again before the quarter-finals, but a long way to go in this game. Kenny with the cross in, headed away by the huge figure of Dave Stevens. Back towards Kenny, and Townsend though is quickly closed down, and Mendy will try and play it long downfield. But at the moment, when Boreham Wood do try and feed in either Marsh or Bowden, the ball is rarely finding them. Here is Rondon. Gordon goes down as if he was fouled on the edge of the penalty area, but Tony Harrington gives nothing, and Everton will have a throw-in on this near side. And at the moment, Kevin, it just seems a case of how long can Boreham Wood hold out. Yeah, it seems a bit like forwards v defence. Everton on the attack most of the time, and Boreham Wood just being difficult to break down. So I think Everton just need to keep their mind, keep smart, and keep passing that ball, tire them out. And if you weren't with us before kick-off, we heard from Luke Garrett live with Ian Abrahams on the touchline when he revealed to us that Mark Ricketts and Kane Smith both had painkilling injections an hour before kick-off to ensure they could go on the team sheet. Smith now making the challenge on Mikolenko on the far side, and it will be a throw-in to Everton. But the veteran captain and the Everton fan both given the opportunity to play. And listening to Luke Garrett, there did seem a bit of sentiment there, which you can say is a good thing, but at the same time, it's the FA Cup 5th round. Yeah, I just think he's not going to take a chance. He's a starter for Boreham Wood, so he wants him to play, and especially at Goodison Park being a blue. And they have 6 on the bench, including Niall Ranger, who Newcastle fans may remember, and also various clubs in the lower divisions. Most recently was Southend United, and he could be a potential striking option later on in the game. 19 minutes played here, the drizzle still continuing at Goodison Park. But every seat has been taken here, which is a real tribute to the Everton fans as well, to turn out in such numbers for an FA Cup tied home to a non-league side when they've not had too many good results here at Goodison Park so far this season. Now Branthwaite in towards Gordon. He's closed down by Marsh. And at the moment, players like Marsh and Bowden are just trying to offer some sort of barrier in front of the Boreham Wood midfield as Keane sprays it wide to this near side. It's gathered by Patterson. And Kenny finding Doucouré, who has been given licence to roam for Everton in the midfield area. Now Gordon twisting and turning, but the challenge comes in from Ricketts, and the 37-year-old does his job and gets the free kick. Well played by Ricketts there. Really good understanding of where to be, where to put his body, and Gordon just tried to manoeuvre out of his way, and he stuck him. He got him there and won the free kick. Well done. Of course, you won the FA Cup with Arsenal, but Arsenal also had 1 or 2 difficult moments against lower division teams in the FA Cup. And when you go in, do you think it's a no-win situation, or do you think just get the job done and get out of there? No, well, we used to say it's the SAS, get in and get out. You know, just get the job done and leave, because you don't want to make it more difficult than you have to. Asby Hammond clears downfield from the free kick, long and high into the night sky here on Merseyside. And last night we were at Anfield to bring you Liverpool's victory over Norwich, which wasn't entirely straightforward, but Liverpool roll on in their pursuit of 4 trophies. And a much changed team were able to see off the Canaries, and Frank Lampard has made changes as well, but not as many. And there is a real experienced core to this Everton side tonight as Ricketts heads it forward for Boreham Wood on the far side. Everton will clear though. Townsend wide towards Gordon, but the ball just drifts away from him out of play, and Boreham Wood will have a throw-in on the far side. And there is the opportunity here for them to throw this ball long and try and get Everton penned him once again around the corner flag, and that's what Evans tries to do as he finds Marsh trying to turn, but Mykolenko makes the challenge, and now Boreham Wood can hurl this ball into the penalty area.
Yeah, it's a typical non-league. They work the line with the throw-ins and then they get an opportunity to get it in the box. I'm sure they're not going to disappoint, are they? Can they get it in the box?
Well, here is Smith now, driving in the cross after they initially played it short, headed away by Branthwaite. Townsend will try and break, but he collides with the very imposing figure of Dave Stevens, and he rebounds off him, the ball rebounds off him, and Boreham Wood will clear. But here is Rondon coming forward now, wide on this near side, and again he was toe-to-toe with Dave Stevens, and two big men fell to the turf, and Everton had the free kick on the right corner of the Boreham Wood penalty area.
I think Rondon does really well, gets his body in the way, and you can see Stevens is holding him and fighting him, gives a free kick away on the right edge of the area, and it's a very dangerous position.
And Dave Stevens retreats into the penalty area, and he is one of those central defenders who is almost as broad as he is tall. But it's a free kick, and once again Townsend and Gordon are over it for Everton, and they are not lacking height inside the penalty area with Rondon. Keane has also moved forward as well. Rondon will make the run towards the near post, and it looks like Townsend will drift this ball in. He does, left-footed into the penalty area, doesn't beat the first man, and it's headed away by the Everton fan Kane Smith. Here is Marsh on this near side for Boreham Wood, challenged by Mykolenko, and it will be a throw-in.
It's not like Andros Townsend. Usually his deliveries are excellent, but that was a poor free kick.
23 minutes played here at Goodison Park, still 0-0 between Everton and Boreham Wood, and FIFA have just put out a statement. They've confirmed it's received a request from the Ukrainian Association of Football to postpone their matches scheduled in March, and FIFA remain in regular contact with UEFA and the Scottish Football Association to find an approximate solution, and FIFA expresses its deepest solidarity to everybody affected by what is happening in Ukraine, and a further update will be provided in due course. So Ukraine have requested their game against Scotland is called off as a back pass from John Joe Kenny goes across the penalty area before it's claimed by Begovic, and of course that could have a knock-on for Wales, who are also in that path to qualify for the World Cup. They play Austria in their first leg, but the winner of that tie is due to play Scotland or Ukraine. So clearly at the moment there are a number of issues to sort out as Stevens slides in to win it back, and the flag's up for offside against Rondon, and it will be a free kick for Boreham Wood. And you wouldn't say they're comfortable, but they're competitive.
Very competitive. You can see how and why they've kept clean sheets, and their defensive record is excellent. I think second best in the FA Cup. Everton just need to be a little bit more precise and a little bit more cute on their passing, but well played Boreham Wood so far.
More live football coming up tomorrow night on the home of the EFL TalkSport 2, Sheffield United against Nottingham Forest. Then game day is back on Saturday. I'll be alongside Faye Carruthers and Trevor Sinclair at the King Power at 12:30 on TalkSport for Leicester against Leeds. Fulham against Blackburn will be on TalkSport 2. Then game day live with Adrian Durham at 2:30. Newcastle against Brighton is the live Premier League game on TalkSport 2 at 3 o'clock. And then a choice of listening in the early evening here on TalkSport, Liverpool against West Ham with Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton. And on TalkSport 2, the WSL Cup final, that's Chelsea against Manchester City. And the new stadium at AFC Wimbledon is sold out for that game, as Frank Lampard is just deep in conversation with a member of his backroom team at the moment, as Boreham Wood have a throw-in on the far side, and Will Evans, who scored the winner for them way back in the fourth qualifying round at Barnet, throws it long down the line, but it's headed away by Allen, and then it bobbles out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Everton on the far side. And Everton are going to have to work hard here to score the opening goal with 26 minutes played, and it's still 0-0. Now Stevens wins it back again for Boreham Wood. Good ball down the line for Bowden. Has his back to goal. A high ball into the penalty area for Rees. His cross is deflected at the near post and it's gone behind, and it will be a goal kick.
Good break by Boreham Wood. Very direct. Played the ball up the side of the Everton centre halves and just went out of play. But, they're showing willing.
Everton tried to play out once again, and once again Boreham Wood had 5 players around the penalty area looking to close them down, and now Decore has given the ball away to Raymond, but he very quickly wins it back, and Everton will try and break forward now on this near side. Decore in towards Townsend, who goes down under the challenge of Connor Stevens. No free kick given, and here is Marsh on the halfway line for Boreham Wood, but the ball doesn't stick with him, and it's back with Michael Keane for Everton.
Boreham Wood have been very tenacious in their tackling and not giving Everton a chance sometimes. So Everton again have to keep probing, believing in what they're doing.
And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. And it's 0-0, and we've now played 28 minutes. So if Boreham Wood were looking to tick off staging posts in this game, they've got through the first 20 minutes. Can they get to half an hour, and then can they get to half time? And Luke Garrett is a lot more demonstrative in the technical area than Frank Lampard at the moment, although that does tend to be his management style. And he got the job at the age of 30 when Boreham Wood were promoted into the National League, and they are not a club who have a massive budget, although the FA Cup run could produce a life-changing sum of money for a football club striving to get into the Football League. Now Rees tries to bring it forward on this near side, but it's initially cleared away before Connor Stevens plays a long ball forward, looking for Marsh, who appeals for a free kick as he went down under the challenge of Patterson. Nothing given, but now the ball forward from Patterson. Crossfield has been given away. Ricketts was waiting for the ball to land at his feet, but it's cut out by Rondon. Everton now will try and break with Allen. There is a white balloon on the pitch on the far side, but Michaelenko moves beyond that and finds Gordon breaking up towards the edge of the penalty area, but he shows too much of that to Will Evans, and it's ballooned high into those Boreham Wood supporters in the lower bullions on the far side. And Anthony Gordon just showing 1 or 2 signs of frustration there as he clashes with Evans on the edge of the penalty area, and the Boreham Wood supporters not too keen to give the ball back at the moment, although they are flourishing a Ukrainian flag in front of Vitaly Michaelenko, the Everton captain this evening, who will take the throw in level with the edge of the Boreham Wood penalty area. 29 minutes played, and we still await the first goal here at Goodison Park. A damp evening, a capacity crowd, and at the moment Boreham Wood are rising to the occasion. Now Kenny on this near side for Everton, back in field towards Keane again. Of course, we must have a winner here this evening, with extra time and penalties if necessary. Allen now for Everton, swirled into the area, headed away though by Stevens, who has not missed a thing in the air so far. Now Raymond plays it back towards Connor Stevens, who was given a difficult ball to deal with on the edge of his own penalty area. Everton now have it with Townsend with the in-swinging cross. Stevens though gets there before Rondon, clears to this near side. Patterson recovers for Everton. Townsend now will try and hit the byline, but there's a back heel which will find Patterson inside the penalty area, but he cuts square of the box, finds Allen, and Allen now will go wide towards Branthwaite again, and Everton here are having to work very, very hard to try and break Boreham Wood down. Patterson again on this near side, looks to twist and turn beyond Mendy, and he's got space inside the area. Townsend takes over, high cross towards the far post, and it's beyond everybody, and it's behind for a goal kick. And Boreham Wood there defensively were absolutely superb.
Yep, they stuck to their task, pressed the ball, and they marked up very tight in the box and didn't let Everton get away from them. Really good play by Boreham Wood. I'm impressed that the longer it goes on like this, there might be a frustration that creeps into Everton. So
31 minutes played. Following this game, you can have your say on national radio on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. 03717 223344 will be the number to call. And there's also cricket coming up next week on TalkSport 2. Exclusive coverage of England's 3-test tour to the West Indies begins only on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday afternoon. Now Raymond comes forward for Boreham Wood. in towards Ricketts, but the captain just loses out to Doucouré. And Gordon will break now for Everton, coming in field from the left-hand side, twisting and turning away from the challenge of Raymond. Townsend quickly transfers it into the path of Patterson, who always has to come in field on his left foot, playing in the right wing-back position. And his cross eventually is cleared away, and Boreham Wood will be very happy to have diagonal balls played in from that sort of area.
Very much so. The big centre-halves are going to eat them up all day. I think Everton didn't capitalise on that break, to be honest, because they've got to be a lot more decisive when they get into advanced positions.
Now Patterson finding Doucouré for Everton. 32 minutes played here on TalkSport in the FA Cup at Goodison Park. It is a classic cup occasion, Premier League against non-league, and at the moment non-league are frustrating Everton, who have won this cup 7 times, most recently in 1995, when they also managed to marry cup success with a successful battle against relegation. And their manager that year, Joe Royle, is here in the crowd this evening as Patterson crosses in from the right-hand side. And again it's cleared. Marsh will flick the ball on towards the halfway line, but it comes straight back from Everton. But at the moment, waves of royal blue attacks are floundering on the edge of the Boreham Wood penalty area. And Frank Lampard is standing there looking increasingly agitated, because we are now 12 minutes away from half-time and it's still goalless as Doucouré makes the run into the penalty area. Mendy, though, tracked his run and shepherds the ball behind, and it will be a goal kick.
Really good play by Doucouré. He picks out a run, but it's just the execution of the pass was a little bit too heavy. Mendy does well for Boreham Wood to track him, but when you get in those opportunities to play a decisive ball, it's got to be spot on.
And Boreham Wood are beginning to send out one or two of their replacements to warm up. Connor Smith is just heading out in front of us. He's come off the bench 5 times so far in the FA Cup this season, as Ashby Hammond clears downfield again. He only really had one save to make so far, parrying the early shot from Mikalenko, as Raymond has been fouled by Doucouré, and it will be a Boreham Wood free kick just in front of us here, down their left, 15 yards inside the Everton half. And in terms of clear-cut chances, Everton have made very little so far. And Boreham Wood are sending forward Dave Stevens for this free kick, along with Connor Stevens and Will Evans, the 3 central defenders. Raymond will look to swirl in this free kick from the left-hand side. Marsh is a potential option. If it's played short down the line, he could possibly spin in behind, but Raymond will play it high to the far post. Stevens looking to head the ball into the penalty area, which they do, but it's cleared by Doucouré. Hook back over the top, looking for Marsh, and Begovic has to claim, and he had to scamper off his line there very quickly. He quickly bowls it out to this near side, looking for Doucouré. Allen back again towards Doucouré, and now John Joe Kenny will wave his teammates forward, and Everton again look to try and create something inside the Boreham Wood half, but Townsend has quickly been challenged by Evans, and the 3 central defenders are all playing very well as a unit at the moment as we head towards the final 10 minutes of the first half. 0-0. John Joe Kenny on this near side, and we'll get the thoughts of Kevin Campbell on that Boreham Wood opportunity in a few moments' time. But here is Keane, sweeps it wide to this near side for Everton, and Patterson. Townsend down the line, but again there's nowhere for him to go as Connor Stevens cuts off the route to the byline, and it's back towards Keane again, 30 yards from goal, and it's incredibly congested. Rondon looks to make a dart into the penalty area behind Stevens, but nobody spotted the run. Now Gordon calls in the shot, and again it's palmed away by Ashby Hammond, and that was an opportunity, but once again Ashby Hammond was equal to it.
A really good shot by Gordon, jinks inside from the left-hand side, whips the shot in, and well pushed out by Hammond.
But again, we saw Begovic have to deal with that ball into the penalty area before. It doesn't matter if you're Premier League or non-league, a good ball in and it will cause problems.
Big problems. Begovic had to be alert to come and claim that ball. But now Everton are on the attack, and they've got to be a bit more precise in their passing. We know Boreham would defend properly, so you've got to be precise.
Well, Everton have had problems against lower division teams at home in the FA Cup since they won the competition back in 1995. Bradford, Oldham, Shrewsbury and Tranmere have all beaten them in the FA Cup as a high ball is played into the penalty area, and it's cleared away by Ricketts again, wide to this near side, looking for Marsh, but Kenny will rise to head the ball clear, and it will be a throw-in for Boreham Wood. And we have 8 minutes to play in the first half. Frank Lampard standing there, arms folded, looking fairly phlegmatic. Luke Garrard is all action, pointing, gesticulating, but he may be thinking about a half-time team talk now with his side 0-0. And if you're Frank Lampard, you can't just think it will happen, because Everton have got to make it happen.
Oh, you definitely have to make it happen. But when you make it happen, you've got to defend better than how Bramthwaite has just defended there.
He's given the ball away to Bowden, and now a lovely turn from the Evertonian Kane Smith. He'll have enjoyed that here at Goodison Park. Cruyff turning a spin to evade a marker, and now he's chasing a ball wide on the far side, but Mikalenko will get there first, and it will be a throw-in to Everton. But Kane Smith has his moment to remember as an Everton fan just behind Mikalenko on the far side brandishes one of those cardboard cutout FA Cups covered in tin foil, and it's a long time since Everton have lifted silverware of any description. And Paul Rideout scored the winner for them against Manchester United back in the final of 1995. As Doucouré is leaving off the ball by Rees, and Boreham Wood will try and come forward here, but the ball from Mendy doesn't quite find Marsh, and Everton can break themselves with Patterson. But very quickly, whenever Boreham Wood lose the ball, they get 10 bodies behind the ball, and they make it very hard for Everton to pick that pass.
Everton aren't playing quick enough. They're not playing forward quick enough, and Boreham Wood are being very, very difficult to break down, because they do get people back behind the ball. The only way, when Boreham Wood give it away, Everton have to play through them. When they don't, it's going to be difficult to break them down.
So at the moment, plenty to discuss for Alan Brazil, Ray Parlour and Trevor Sinclair on TalkSport Breakfast from 6 tomorrow morning. And before that, you can have your say on the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at the end of this game. And I'm sure there will be plenty of Boreham Wood fans heading back on the motorway to Hertfordshire. And of course, Everton do have fans spread across the country as well, as Gordon has given the ball away to Rees on the far side, and Rees will try and run the ball clear, but he looked forward and he was hoping either Bowden or Marsh would make the run, but they were actually behind him, having defended so deeply on the edge of his own penalty area.
Boreham Wood are making life difficult, and I'm sure Gerrard will be very happy with the performance so far.
And we have 5 minutes to play in the first half here, and it is still 0-0 as Richarlison is sent out to warm up by Frank Lampard. Maybe we'll see him at the start of the second half. Everton do have a number of first teamers on the bench: Coleman, Holgate, Iwobi, Richarlison, along with plenty of youngsters. But Boreham Wood at the moment are enjoying their experience here.
Hold on,
a problem on the far side.
Maybe someone in the crowd.
Yeah. Players being halted here, and the medical teams are very quickly being waved on. And it's in the lower tier of the Bullens Road stand on the far side. The paramedics are also very quickly sprinting across, and there is a defibrillator being carried by a member of the medical team. And there was urgency from the supporters on the far side. It looks to be in the middle tier of the Bullens Road stand, and players from both sides were waving on the medical units, and now stewards, police and the physios are heading into the crowd, and the person who appears to be in distress has been surrounded by those, and play has been halted.
Yeah, no one likes to see this. We're seeing this quite a bit going on at football grounds, and it was great that you saw both sets of players, ushering on the medical staff. I think that's really key, and hopefully everything will be okay.
We have 4 minutes to play in the first half, but due to a medical emergency among the Everton supporters on the far side, play has been halted with the score Everton 0, Boreham Wood 0.
Nigel, thank you. Medical emergency halting action here at Goodison Park in the 5th round of the FA Cup live tonight on Talk Sport. But once more, what we are getting so used to seeing, Kevin Campbell, is the swiftness of action from our medical staff, emergency staff, personnel, police, St John's ambulance, both clubs' medical staff straight over there asking for help. Can we aid? And already one or two people are just being helped away, and it looks like already the situation is beginning to calm itself. We're back off and underway with Kevin Campbell and Nigel Adley on Talk Sport.
Yes, person is being helped away on the far side. The medical teams have already dispersed. We had a delay there of around 90 seconds, and play is back on as Ricketts comes forward now for Boreham Wood. And the low ball into the penalty area, finding Marsh. He is onside. The crossing, though, seeking out Bowden, is claimed by Begovic, and that was a chance for Boreham Wood.
It was a chance. And sometimes when the game goes through a lull, the opposition could sometimes not be switched on, but Boreham Wood were really switched on there.
Now Kenny for Everton on this near side. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Here on Talk Sport, it is still Everton 0, Boreham Wood 0, and the non-league side are good value for the situation here at the moment. As Gordon comes forward for Everton, Mikolenko is overlapping, but it's back in field towards Keane. And as Kevin Campbell made the point a few moments ago, Everton are really laboured in possession here. They are not moving the ball around with any speed around the penalty area. Townsend with the cross in, and once again it's overhit and it's behind for a goal kick.
I'm checking out Townsend's crossing, and so many of the balls are going to the back post when nobody is. Just maybe Rondon needs to peel out there and get Gordon running across him, just to get a little bit of movement, different movement.
Well, so far Everton have had 80% of the possession, all the shots, but only 6, all the shots on target, but only 2.
Yeah, it's not good enough. When you look at the possession, when you look at the amount of times they've had the opportunities to penetrate, and they just haven't had that quality. They need it.
And this is not an Everton team packed with youngsters. There are youngsters, players like Branthwaite, and of course John Joe Kenny is somebody who's not a youngster, but he's becoming established now in the first team. There is plenty of experience out there, plenty of know-how, but at the moment Boreham Wood are standing firm. It may be a case of Boreham Wood's fitness holding up, but they are a team who, of course, kept going right to the very end against Bournemouth as John Joe Kenny slices a clearance right across his own penalty area, but he got away with it. It fell to a blue shirt, and Keane now will move forward for Everton on the far side as we head towards added time at the end of the first half. Kevin Friend, the fourth official, has the numbers board in his hand, and there will be 2 added minutes. Patterson with a cross into the penalty area, but again it is overhit. Mikolenko was charging in, but it was over his shoulder, one bounce, and straight out of play on the far side.
Still good play by Patterson, though. Patterson played a quick 1-2 around Mendy. It was just the execution of the cross. As I say, I've been impressed with him, but that ball's got to be a bit more devil in the right area.
But the Boreham Wood supporters rising to their team on the far side. Plenty of balloons, plenty of flags, and they will be delighted with the way their team have played so far. And in a few seconds' time, the half-time whistle is due to go with them goalless here at Goodison Park as Bowden will chase a long ball forward. I don't think Scott Bowden's touched the ball so far, but he's chased 1 or 2 balls over his head. And Everton with maybe one final chance to attack in the first half here. It's Keane over the halfway line. Patterson in space to the right, but Keane goes to the left. Here is Branthwaite. And again, Boreham Wood are just happy to drop every single outfield player within 10 yards of the penalty area. Now it's nodded down by Patterson at the far post. It'll drop to Decore, and then Stevens puts a big boot through the ball. It spins wide to the far side. Marsh nudging Gordon off the ball, but here is Michaelenko for Everton. But again, it is a good challenge which comes in. But Everton do have an opportunity now with a corner right at the end of the first half after Smith was closed down.
Good play by Everton, really tenacious, and this probably is the last opportunity of the half.
Anthony Gordon will take the corner on the far side in front of those Boreham Wood supporters, and their team are very much alive in this FA Cup tie at Goodison Park. Gordon with the in-swinging corner towards the near post, headed away once again by Connor Stevens, and that is half-time. One or two boos from the Everton supporters in a big crowd here at Goodison Park, but not from the Boreham Wood fans as their team make their way to the dressing room on the far side. They rise to acclaim their team. The National League side have been superb in the first half. They have held out very comfortably against everything which Everton have thrown at them. Tay Ashby-Hammond making a couple of routine saves. Everton lacking creativity, and they have work to do here in the second half. Half-time, Everton 0, Boreham Wood 0. Thank you, Dan. And Boreham Wood are finally out for the second half. There don't look to be any changes for them. The Everton team is now Begovic in goal. It's a back four of Kenny Keane, Branthwaite and Michaelenko, Decore and Allen in midfield, with Townsend and Gordon in the wide areas, and Rondon and Richarlison up front. For Boreham Wood, Ashby-Hammond in goal, Stevens, of course we have Dave Stevens and Connor Stevens alongside Evans at the back, Raymond, Rickett, Smith and Mendy in midfield, Marsh, Rees and Bowden in attack. And it's Everton in the royal blue shirts who will get the game underway in the second half, attacking the Howard Kendall, Gladys Street, away to our left-hand side. A sellout crowd here at Goodison Park tonight, and the number of the home fans left the team in no doubt. They weren't happy with the first half performance. Michaelenko with a cross into the penalty area, appeals for handball as it's blocked by Evans. He will clear. We do have VAR in operation here this evening. Jonathan Moss is the official at Stockley Park. We're watching a replay here of Michaelenko's cross in, and it struck Evans in the stomach. And it will be a throw-in for Boreham Wood on this near side. And if you're Luke Garrett, you've got to half-time, you're in the cup tie, you just say keep going, surely.
Yeah, you have to. You say keep going. Don't lose your shape. I think the shape's very important for Boreham Wood, and you know, keep working the lines on your throw-ins, keep getting us up the pitch, and we could start throwing caution to wind a little bit later in the half.
Well, Everton have reached the quarter-finals in 11 of their last 13 attempts. Reading were the last team to stop them going through here when they caused a shock with a 1-0 win back in 2011. But at the moment, Everton have rather reverted to type after the spirit and at times the invention they showed against Manchester City on Saturday. They have been rather static here at times as Marsh tries to come forward for Boreham Wood, but he's just nudged off it by Branthwaite, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And Tyrone Marsh, who scored an excellent goal against Wimbledon in the third round, he does have a bit of pace about him, and he could be the player to possibly unlock Everton on the break as they play the ball out again. But Tony Harrington, the referee, says it was a rolling ball, so Begovic will try again. But even when they do play the ball out, there are 5 Boreham Wood players pressing very high and very hard on the edge of the penalty area. Here is Bowden coming forward now, tries to slip it forward, looking for Rees, but he's penalised for handball in front of those Boreham Wood fans on the far side. And as the rain continues to tumble down here at Goodison Park, Everton come forward with their captain Michaelenko. Now Gordon coming in field from the left-hand side. Michaelenko drives the ball across the penalty area, and he almost found a lunging Rondon, but it's beyond him, and Boreham Wood escaped there.
Yeah, but 4-4-2, getting the fullbacks moving forward, down the wide, down the wings. Wingers are coming inside, and the fullbacks are bombing past or going on the underlap, and Michaelenko gets in and puts a great ball across, and Rondon was just a little bit he was a little bit too honest. He's just got to gamble.
Now Townsend loses out in the aerial duel with Raymond on the far side. Richarlison with the peroxide rinse plays it forward towards Decore, and Rondon once again was on the shoulder of the central defender Evans, but Evans is able to clear, and it will be a throw-in on the far side for Everton. And of course, a player with the physicality of Rondon will be something that these National League central defenders are fairly used to playing. As Boreham Wood with a free kick on the far side, Townsend with the foul on Raymond, and we have played 4 minutes in the second half here on TalkSport in the FA Cup 5th round, and it is still 0-0. Richarlison has come on for Everton, but he's yet to be able to make a real impact. And as Boreham Wood supporters unfurling that Ukrainian flag on the far side once again, they will be ticking off the minutes here. Of course, if we are still goalless at the end of 90 minutes, we would have extra time. There are no replays at this stage of the FA Cup this season. As Reece is quickly closed down by Decore, and now Allan, and it's all the way back from Kenny towards Begovic, who has had long spells of inactivity during the game, but Ashby Hammond has only made 2 real saves of consequence for Boreham Wood at the other end. Now Richarlison challenged by Connor Stevens, and it's played over the top looking for Bowden. That's the ball that Boreham would need in behind for either Bowden or Marsh, but it's overhit and gathered by Begovic.
Smart ball. Unfortunately, the execution wasn't quite right, but they found a chink in Everton's armour over the top.
Now Allan, the Brazilian who won the Coppa Italia with Napoli a couple of years ago, now he's struggling to inspire a team against Boreham Wood from the 5th tier of English football. Now Decore, the cross into the penalty area, looking for Rondon, and he heads over the top inside the 6-yard area. Excellent ball delivered in by John Joe Kenny, and Rondon on the stretch could not keep the header down.
That was the chance of the game. That was the chance so far. Great ball in by John Joe Kenny, and Rondon has to hit the target. Getting Boreham Wood turned towards their own goal is the key, but just couldn't execute. Got to head that down. It's a goal.
But Everton are beginning to find space in behind now, which they weren't doing for much of the first half. 51 minutes played here on TalkSport at Goodison Park for the right to play Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and we are still goalless. But here is Bowden coming forward now for Boreham Wood. He had an option wide of him, but failed to give the ball to Marsh, but it's quickly won back by Mendy. And here is Marsh now, and the challenge comes in from Kenny, and the final touch was off Marsh, and it will be a throw into Everton on the far side there right. Kevin Campbell, the former FA Cup winner with Arsenal, is alongside us here at Goodison Park, and Frank Lampard, we can see him standing there, and his body language does not radiate positivity, does it? He's not happy.
Well, he's not happy because I don't think Everton have been moving the ball quick enough. I think the change of shape actually is going to help the game flow a little bit more, because I think Boreham Wood can attack a little bit better now that Everton have opened up.
Well, here is Gordon coming forward now, a long run down the left-hand side. Jinks in field, but he's blocked off by Evans, but now Mikalenko finding Richarlison down the left for Everton, coming in field onto the right foot. Allan in space, 25 yards out. The crowd encourage him to shoot, but it's shuttled wide towards the far side once again. And Everton take their time, but in doing so they allow every Boreham Wood player apart from Tyrone Marsh to regroup behind the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Here is Townsend again down the right hand side, infield towards Kenny, who works the 1-2 at Decore, and the return ball is overhit and it's behind for a goal kick. And it's a recurring theme, Kevin, but it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you give them time to regroup, it's more difficult for you to score.
Definitely more difficult to score, definitely more difficult to break them down and penetrate them. And you saw Boreham Wood there, they banked up on John Joe Kenny, so he actually couldn't get the return pass. Good defending, good play.
Already one or two whistles from the Everton supporters who believe that Tay Ashby-Hammond is time wasting, and Tony Harrington, the referee, is also coming across to have a word with the Boreham Wood goalkeeper, and it's a bit early for that.
Yeah, it's a little bit early, but you know, Boreham Wood are going to listen. They're going to skate a little bit close to the wind. They want to get as deep into danger time as possible for Everton, so the crowd turn a little bit.
And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talk Sport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, as Ashby-Hammond eventually clears downfield, and it's flicked on by Ricketts, the captain, looking for Bowden. And now Boreham Wood have the ball inside the Everton half. Ricketts, though, plays a poor ball back, almost intercepted by Gordon. Now a long ball forward for Boreham Wood again, and it's cleared away by Mikolenko, and Marsh was hoping that Mikolenko would run the ball out for a throw-in on this near side, and Marsh barged into him. Mikolenko, I think, may have got hurt clattering into the advertising hoardings just in front of us, and it will be a free kick for Everton. But the Ukrainian international, their captain this evening, is currently off the field, and he's receiving treatment, and he's slithered off the pitch in these wet conditions and maybe banged his head on the hoardings. May have been a bit more of a shoulder in the end, but he's looks to be okay, and he's back on the field. Everton again looking to play the ball out, but so often there's little conviction in the ball forward, and Branthwaite has given it straight to Marsh, who fires a shot towards goal, and it's Boreham Wood's first shot of the game. It's over the top, but again, nerves there from Everton. Branthwaite giving Marsh an opportunity.
I think what you're seeing is Everton trying to play through them quicker, and Branthwaite just didn't get the execution right. He's got to do better.
Now Allen. Frank Lampard shrugs his shoulders once again as Everton take far too long to move the ball forward. Laid back in field by Doucouré, and it's a great shape we can see here. 5-2-3 from Boreham Wood, and yet again they've been given the time to get back, get organised, sort themselves out, and now Keane is coming forward with his arms outstretched wide towards John Joe Kenny, down the Everton right. Doucouré makes the run towards him, but it's back towards Keane again, and maybe thought about the high diagonal cross into the penalty area. Gordon comes short, the ball in field is cleared away, and yet again Everton are repelled, and you can sense the frustration all around Goodison Park.
Definitely, the locals are being very frustrated because they expect Everton to be ahead. But you know, sometimes Everton just got to keep playing. You've got to keep asking. You've got to keep asking questions. Keep asking questions and putting the ball in the right areas, and expect that quality to come to the fore.
Now Allen coming forward in towards Richarlison. It's played on first time, looking for Rondon, but yet again the central defenders do their job, but Everton are having to really scrap for it on the edge of the penalty area. It breaks out towards Doucouré. Here is Kenny finding Allen again, back towards Kenny. A low ball into the near post, and the shot from Rondon is in, and Everton finally have the goal, and there is much relief sweeping around Goodison Park. Boreham Wood finally conceding the FA Cup this season, and it's the Venezuelan international Solomon Rondon nipping it at the near post, and now Everton will believe they're on their way to the quarter-finals.
Really good play by Everton. Good ball wide. And I think it was John Joe Kenny plays a nice little ball on the inside. Gets the ball back and plays a good ball across. And Rondon, great finish. First time. Catches the defender and goalkeeper by surprise, to be honest. And what a good finish.
And Tay Ashby-Hammond beaten at the near post, and he threw his hands up in despair, but it was an excellent ball in, and Rondon with that movement you were calling for him ahead of Stevens.
Yeah, just across Stevens to get the big man moving. Pays dividends. The more they do that, the better. Now that Richarlison's on, I think he occupies the three defenders perfectly.
Everton lead by a goal to nil, and as soon as the goal went in, Luke Garrett called the captain Mark Ricketts across to him, and maybe there'll be a slight tweak in formation now from Boreham Wood, with 57 minutes played here inside a vibrant Goodison Park. Everton leading Boreham Wood by a goal to nil. Here is Richarlison moving forward again, wide towards Gordon. Richarlison continues his run, and the cross is deflected off Marsh and goes behind for a corner. and Everton sensing a quick second goal here.
Richarlison's causing problems because he can run behind and he can come deep. He can play wide. So I think he's that type of forward who can cause this stout Bournemouth defence some problems.
Corner will be taken by Gordon. Short towards Townsend. Mikolenko. High cross to the far post, and it was Keane rising with the header, but it's lofted over the top. And there will be movement on the Everton bench very soon.
Mikolenko seems as though he's injured. I'm not sure.
It looks like he's done his hamstring. He was holding that area when he had the injury
against the board, wasn't he? He hit the hoardings.
He's coming off, I think, and Seamus Coleman will come on. Well, Mikolenko does not want to leave the field of play, understandably, but he can't continue and just listen to the ovation he is getting from all around Goodison Park.
Rapturous applause, rapturous, really good advert for the Ukraine, his motherland, and he's done well today, Mikolenko. He's done well.
Seamus Coleman comes on to replace him as the Ukrainian flags are unfurled on all four sides of this stadium once again. And Coleman, who first played in the FA Cup for Everton back in 2010, comes on to replace him with 59 minutes played. Everton leading here by a goal to nil. It took them nearly an hour to score the opening goal. Richarlison is taken out in the midfield area by Evans, and he's still down. Everton will play on. Here is Rondon now down the left. He's got support from Kenny, but he overruns the ball, but he finds Gordon twisting and turning into the penalty area. Low ball into the near post is gathered by Aspie Hammond, and I wonder, will the referee revisit the challenge on Richarlison? Doesn't appear to be.
That looked a serious challenge, a very meaty challenge, and Richarlison does well to get up from that, to be honest, because I thought he might have been down a little longer.
The chairman of Boreham Wood, Danny Hunt, has just disappeared beneath us, presumably for a call of nature. He's not leaving at this stage with half an hour to play, but for a man who remortgaged his house during the pandemic to keep this club going, he is somebody who will enjoy this evening, and of course will enjoy the riches that the FA Cup run has brought them. Everton with a high ball forward again, looking for Richarlison, headed away by Evans. Bowden will chase and just treads on the ball as he's challenged by Keane, and it will be a throw into Everton. And if you're Boreham Wood now, is it just a case of trying to stay in the game for as long as possible and give it a go late on?
Yeah, I think you have to stay in the game as long as you can, but I think you have to try and penetrate Everton. Everton are attacking. When you get the ball, you have to try and make a fist of it at the other end. Can they do that? I think they can, because Everton are a little bit open.
03717 223344, the number to call the Sports Bar following this game, with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. And of course Alan Brazil and the team will bring you all the reaction from this game in TalkSport Breakfast from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll also hopefully have reaction from the touchline live into the Sports Bar as well. And don't forget, coming up next month on TalkSport, Tyson Fury against Dillian White, Saturday, April the 23rd from Wembley Stadium, live and exclusive here on TalkSport. And there'll be so much build-up on the way to that fight, and TalkSport.com is the best place to go to follow all of that, as Everton looking for the clinching goal here. Find Townsend. A flick from Richarlison almost gave the ball away to Bowden. Wasn't really the place on the field to try something like that. A back heel between his legs, and now Alisson plays it forward looking for Richarlison, and he almost ends up in the crowd as he was just given a nudge there on the way through by Mendy, but it's gathered by Aspie Hammond, and Boreham Wood will be able to clear once again as Luke Garrett, their manager, looks to his bench and he's sending out players to warm up. There will be a lot of tired bodies up there at the moment, and also tired minds as well. Marsh was looking for a free kick as he was challenged by Allen. Nothing given. Richarlison now sprinting forward for Everton. Rondon wide to this near side, the left, and Gordon on the edge of the penalty area. Gordon infield towards Rondon, who lays it off to Townsend. It breaks to Richarlison. It's all too tight and congested, and in the end Boreham would get a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area.
Far too tight, and you've got to use your fullbacks. We saw John Joe Kenny looking to join in with Anthony Gordon. He goes inside. That's where the strength of Boreham Wood are, inside. So you've got to try and use your fullbacks on the outside to let them face their own goal and get your strikers in with an opportunity to score.
Boreham Wood have massive games coming up in the National League, away to Wrexham and at home to Chesterfield, two of their promotion contenders. But this, of course, is all about the glamour and the glory in the FA Cup this evening, and they will still believe they can create the chance to bring them back into the game with 63 minutes played. Everton leading by a goal to nil. Townsend in full flight for Everton down the right hand side, has support from Richarlison. Townsend hits the byline. It's a deep cross looking for Doucouré, but it's headed away as far as Gordon. Good leap there from Smith. And now Rondon outside the penalty area, square to Allen, who shuffles infield back towards Doucouré, who was looking to create the angle on the right foot, but it's wide towards Gordon again. Gordon goes to the byline, low cross into the penalty area, cleared away by Evans at the near post, and Rees will complete the clearance for Boreham Wood up to the halfway line, but it's quickly back with Everton. Allen on the far side, but it's guarded behind by Connor Stevens, and it will be a goal kick for Boreham Wood. And Everton have their goal, but again, they're going into the areas of the pitch where Boreham Wood have the most players.
That's right, they keep running into traffic, and if you keep going into traffic, well, it makes life so much more difficult. I think Everton need to get on the outside and get balls across the box. We've seen them do that a few times and look real dangerous.
Cleared downfield by Ashby Hammond once again, looking for Bowden, hooked over his shoulder. Marsh will chase, appeals for handball against Keane, right on the edge of the penalty area, and a goal kick's been given by Tony Harrington, and the protests persist from Boreham Wood, but play is very quickly back underway as Allen finds Richarlison inside the centre circle for Everton. Now Doucouré wide to the far side. Coleman will chase on the Everton right, but he's closed down by Mendy, and it will be a throw-in for Everton. And so many of these Boreham Wood players have come through non-league to be with their team on this evening. Clubs like Wealdstone and Woking. As Gordon makes the run into the penalty area, played a neat 1-2, and the shot from the tight angle down the left-hand side is blocked by the body of Ashby Hammond, and it will be a corner.
Really good play, good incisive play, penetrative run, gets in, and keeper does really well. Hammond does well. Ball comes back off Gordon, and goal kick.
65 minutes played. Everton 1, Boreham Wood 0 here on Talk Sport. And there will be more changes very soon, I think, for Boreham Wood. And you're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talk Sport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. And Luke Garrett will be looking to his bench for the first time this evening, as Rees, with some very accomplished play, found Marsh down the Boreham Wood left, but it's quickly given away. And now Everton can bring it forward with Kenny on this near side. For Boreham Wood just retaining their shape. Marsh is the only player left upfield, but even he tucks in now with Bowden to support Raymond. Premier League, you're having a laugh, as they chant from the Boreham Wood supporters, and at times this evening some of the Everton fans may have agreed with them. Now Kenny infield towards Allen again. Doucouré, and Everton moving the ball around. Good run before a good run into the penalty area from Townsend. Pulled back to Richarlison, but as he looked to fire the shot towards goal, he was quickly challenged by Frankie Raymond, and it's clear. But now Allen in towards Townsend in a central area, peels away and plays it wide towards Coleman. But Everton here They're playing so many passes in front of Boreham Wood, and when they do play it forward, it's won back by Rees. A long ball forward, looking for Marsh, who shows his frustration as the ball goes straight out of play for a throw-in to Everton. But we are at the midpoint of the second half here, and James Comley will be coming on for Boreham Wood. A Montserrat international, came through the academy at Crystal Palace, and the winners of this tie will be heading to Selhurst Park in the quarter-finals. Now Gordon, wide on this near side, goes on the outside and shoots high over the top in the end, but in terms of attacking intent, Anthony Gordon's been Everton's best player.
Yeah, I think he has, and I think they've got to keep getting him the ball. He's got to keep driving, keep committing the fullback and putting balls across the box, because now that they've got Richarlison and Rondon in there, I think they've got a chance of scoring a second goal.
And it's the captain, Mark Ricketts, who will come off, the 37-year-old who had that pain-killing injection before kick-off. He hands the armband to Dave Stevens, and Ricketts got the winning goal in round 4, but he's done as much as he can.
He's been excellent. He's been excellent. He has, really has.
And credit to the Everton crowd, they're warming, giving him a great round of applause as well.
Big time, definitely. I think that the Evertonians respect this team because, you know, of what they've done, and getting injections and playing on, you know, has been admirable from the captain, Ricketts.
And James Comley comes on. A reminder of the quarter-final draw. As we said, the winners of this tie will be heading to Crystal Palace. Nottingham Forest or Huddersfield, who play live on TalkSport on Monday evening, they will be at home to Liverpool. Middlesbrough will meet Chelsea, and Southampton are at home to Manchester City. And those ties will be played over the weekend in just a fortnight's time now, here on a Thursday evening at Goodison Park. As Gordon comes forward again, looks to get the ball out of his feet and use his pace to go beyond Kane Smith, but overruns it, and it's a goal kick for Boreham Wood once again with 20 minutes to play.
It doesn't quite work out for Gordon, but you know, he's positive. He's been very positive, and he's the player of the second half for Everton. Got to keep feeding him the ball.
And there will be another change very soon for Boreham Wood as well, as Luke Garrett is looking through his resources. Only 6 on the bench, which is a regular number for National League games. Comley, his first touch, but he's given the ball away to Richarlison and fouled him.
Playing quicker. Everton are playing much quicker. Ball down and play.
Kenny, wide towards Gordon. On this near side, Gordon will try and attack the penalty area. Curling shot, right-footed. It breaks to Richarlison, and Richarlison guides the ball in. And Everton are on their way to the quarter-finals. I think it may have hit Richarlison in the face.
Yeah.
But Everton can celebrate a second goal, and the brave challenge of Boreham Wood has finally been seen off. Everton 2, Boreham Wood 0.
That man Gordon again, but keep feeding him the ball, outside and inside, and he's causing all sorts of havoc. That was a dangerous ball inside, and having another player on the inside like Richarlison, you know, it pays dividends. Yeah, comes off, ricochets onto him and puts it in 2-0. Hits him in the face, I think. There you go, and yeah, fair play.
Yeah, it was Connor Stevens with the initial header away, but his header hit Richarlison, I think, on the end of the nose, and he wheeled away, clutching his face rather than celebrating. But Everton are now on their way through, and there is a player down as well for Boreham Wood. Now, are they checking this? Tony Harrington has gone back to the penalty area. I think he's given a free kick. He's disallowed it.
Yeah, I think it because it's so close. I think it has hit his arm.
Yeah, it rolled off his arm, and the goal has been disallowed. Well, we were not aware that a VAR check was taking place, but Boreham Wood are still alive in this FA Cup tie as they're about to make a change. Connor Smith will be coming on, and he's replacing Kane Smith, the other player who had the problem before kick-off, and he will hobble off, and we are back to 1-0.
Yeah, look, I honestly think there's nothing Richarlison could do about that. The ball just ricochets from very close distance on his arm, and look, one thing we do know, the letter of the law says that goal gets disallowed.
Well, Kane Smith, the Everton fan, is the latest Boreham Wood player to get the acclaim of Goodison Park. That's a moment which will live it with him forever.
Another rapturous reception for Kane Smith coming off. Everyone knows he's a blue, and they respect him.
And Connor Smith comes off the bench for the 6th round running in the FA Cup for Boreham Wood. Came through the academy at Watford, very close to Boreham Wood in Hertfordshire, and was more recently with Wealdstone. But we're back to 1-0 with 17 minutes to play.
Yeah, all to play for. Still, Everton still need to keep their foot on the gas. You know, they can't take anything for granted.
03717 22 33 44 for the sports bar as Stevens plays the back pass to Ashby Hammond, who just about manages to clear the penalty area, but now there's a slip from Rondon and it's played long by Evans downfield. Bowden looking to control the ball on his chest, but it's headed away by Keane. And that disallowed goal has just given some impetus to Boreham Wood, you feel?
Yes, it has. Obviously keeps them a little bit closer, doesn't it? And we've seen them, they've had a reaction, which has been fantastic.
Now to Corey, right side of the penalty area. The ball in field is behind Richarlison and it's cleared away. Bowden will chase, but he had 3 players around him. Branthwaite with a lively back pass towards Begovic, but he's able to control it, and the Boreham Wood supporters,
they're loving it,
enjoying their evening here. It would be good if more of them went to watch them on a regular basis. Here is Gordon now coming into the penalty area, fires a low shot in, gathered well by Ashby Hammond. Safe hands in the midst of a very crowded penalty area.
Again, that man Gordon, great running behind, very, very positive when he's getting in the advanced situations. Everton need to get someone across that goalkeeper.
Well, Boreham Wood, no, they are still one chance away potentially from extra time here, but Everton have been much better in the second half, but the bar was set fairly low. Here is Richarlison now on the edge of the penalty area, onto the right foot, brilliant save by Ashby Hammond. Richarlison really got hold of that, and Hammond plunged away to his left-hand side to keep Boreham Wood in the FA Cup.
Great shot, great save. Keeper does well, left arm, Richarlison bends it. It's going in the bottom corner, and the keeper makes a fantastic stop. Well done, Hammond.
Well, he has been one of the heroes so far for Boreham Wood this evening, among many. 14 minutes to play. Everton lead 1-0. Corner's played short and back out towards Allen on the right-hand side. High lofted ball into the penalty area. Keane was having his shirt held by Comley, but in fairness he was doing some pulling as well. Now Richarlison down the left-hand side, coming infield, right foot shot from him, and it's blocked by the head of Evans inside the 6-yard area, and it spins high and behind for a corner.
Again, Richarlison pulls out to the left. I mean, he's an all-rounder, isn't he? He's an all-round forward, pulls out to the left, cuts inside, hits a great shot towards the far post and gets headed out. Corner.
Gordon will take it. Rondon makes the run towards the near post. It's beyond him, headed away by Evans, and Allen, who has been encouraged to shoot all night by the Everton fans, does shoot, and it's high over the top.
Puts one in the Gladys Street, Allen. Really good position outside the box, but you know, shooting isn't his best spot.
No, but the Boreham Wood supporters have really contributed to this evening, and they are a club who have done incredibly well to get this far with such small crowds, but that is why people love the FA Cup. People come out in such great numbers to watch it, and there'll be Boreham Wood fans here tonight who aren't regulars, and let's hope they do support their team, because with more people coming through the gate, they would be more competitive towards the top of the National League, and of course the bigger picture for them is making the Football League. As Bowden comes forward into the penalty area now, and he just slips as he's challenged by Kenny. Keane was claiming he was fouled, and in the end it's cleared away up towards the halfway line. But Comley almost threaded the ball through on the far side for Boreham Wood, and Smith was waiting for it, but here was an opportunity for Doucouré to break, but Conley comes in, brilliant recovery challenge from the Montserrat international, and Boreham Wood here are not giving this up, and why should they? A goal down with 12 minutes to play.
We've got a cup tie now. We have a cup tie. Brilliant.
Branthwaite wide to the far side, and Keane. Here is Allen once again into the wide open spaces down the right for Coleman. Coleman coming in field towards the edge of the penalty area, all the way back towards Keane, square to Doucouré. He can hit them from long range, but instead he picks out Gordon, and now the low ball into the penalty area from Kenny, and again it's Evans with a brilliant challenge, but Gordon now with a right-footed curler, and it's way over the top into the Gladys Street.
Everton have been wasteful sometimes when they've had opportunities at the top end of the pitch. Gordon, he's been excellent. Gordon, I think he's been star man for Everton, but that was a bit wasteful. Got to hit the target.
03717 223344 to call Jamie and Jason on the sports bar following this game. And game day is back this Saturday. Leicester against Leeds here on TalkSport at 12:30. Jesse Marsh's first game in charge of Leeds. Fulham against Blackburn on TalkSport 2, and Game Day Live with Adrian Durham will have all the goals as they go in, with Newcastle against Brighton on TalkSport 2. And then at 5:30, Liverpool against West Ham will be here on TalkSport. Big game at the top of the table. And the WSL Cup final, Chelsea against Manchester City, 5:15 kickoff, will be on TalkSport 2. And then on Monday night we have Forest against Huddersfield in the FA Cup on TalkSport 2 for the right to meet Liverpool. As Townsend is fouled on the far side, and it will be a free kick for Everton, and we're heading towards the final 10 minutes here, and it's still only 1-0 to the Premier League side. Here is Doucouré, just inside the Boreham Wood half. Now Allen, and again Boreham Wood are just happy to contain, and maybe they'll just wait until the final 5 minutes and then give it a real go, which in the circumstances is possibly the wisest policy. Now Townsend finding Doucouré, Gordon, and now Doucouré again, but
too intricate.
Yeah. Branthwaite guiding a header back towards Begovic, and increasingly Scott Bowden is being left one-on-one with Branthwaite, and I think the more experienced man may be fancying that. But here is Gordon finding Richarlison. He's offside. He'll go to goal, and he'll fire wide anyway, but it will be a free kick for Boreham Wood, and Richarlison's disallowed goal has really transformed the mood here.
Yeah, when it goes 2-0, the game's virtually over. Obviously Boreham Wood have to really open up, but now they could still hang on in there. There's only one goal, and they could get that as late as possible as long as they stay in the game. So it's still going to be difficult for Everton.
9 minutes to play. Everton 1, Boreham Wood 0 here on TalkSport. 78 places, but only one goal between these two sides at the moment. Gordon coming forward for Everton. Reese, I think, tried to bring him down with a rugby tackle, but Gordon initially wriggled away from that, so he fouled him anyway, and it will be a free kick for Everton just in front of the Boreham Wood technical area. And Kenny will take it for Everton. And now Marsh is staying up as the one attacking player, and Luke Garrard is trying to wave more players forward here, but Everton bring it forward themselves with Branthwaite in towards Richarlison, and now Rondon takes over wide towards Gordon. Gordon's got Kenny on the overlap. We've seen this move before, and Comley will block the cross. Kenny will try and deliver the ball in second time around, but Comley was there again, and Everton will have a throw-in on this near side.
I like that play where Gordon goes inside and John Joe Kenny gets on the outside of him. Well defended by Boreham Wood, I must say. Still sticking to their task.
Kenny will take it. Richarlison coming short in towards Doucouré. And now Gordon Square towards Townsend. And Everton pouring forward here, but Boreham Wood staying resolute. Keane on the far side, finding Coleman. Back towards Keane again, in towards Townsend, but the challenge comes in, but it spins into the path of Allen. Allen finding Decore on the edge of the penalty area. Here is Richarlison, brilliant challenge coming in from Reece. As Richarlison looked to make it 2-0, it's only a corner.
Yeah, that was a real goal-saving challenge. Richarlison was just about to stick it away, and brilliant slide tackle.
38,836 the crowd here at Goodison Park. And that really is a tribute to the Everton fans to turn out in such great numbers on a Thursday night when their team's been poor against a non-league side. Townsend with the cross into the penalty area, headed towards goal by Rondon, and again it's an incredible save by Ashby Hammond, but the goal has been given. It did cross the line. Rondon has his second, and Everton have finally seen off the challenge of Boreham Wood. Rondon with a far post header. Ashby Hammond beat the ball out, but it had gone over the line, and Frank Lampard showing little emotion, but his team are into the quarter-finals. 2-0.
Fantastic cross by Townsend to the back post, and I mentioned it in the first half. Rondon pulling to the back post needs to get in there, and yeah, what a good header. Unfortunately, Hammond couldn't keep it out, but that is a really good header. Good movement, good header.
Yeah, well over the line. Goal line technology playing its part. Brave attempt from Ashby Hammond to keep it out, but really good leap from Solomon Rondon as well. And it's the first time that Everton have really won a header inside the penalty area.
Yeah, Boreham would have been excellent defensively, but Rondon and Richarlison as a front two have caused problems because they just don't have one man to worry about, they have two.
Lewis Dobbin will be coming on now for Everton, one of the youngsters put on the bench by Frank Lampard this evening. But Everton are into the FA Cup quarter-finals. Once again, they'll be travelling to Crystal Palace. And some big games coming up. Middlesbrough against Chelsea, Southampton against Manchester City, and the winners of Nottingham Forest or Huddersfield will be at home to Liverpool. Anthony Gordon coming off. He's been Everton's man of the match, I think.
Yeah, man of the match. He's been star man, definitely. Excellent player, and what a future this young man's got.
Bill Kenwright, the Everton chairman, rising to acclaim him in the director's box in front of us. And Lewis Dobbin comes on, 19 years of age. Had a serious knee injury last season, and he's working his way back to fitness. This is fifth appearance off the bench in the first team this season. And Boreham would have a free kick now, just inside the Everton half. Frankie Raymond was pulled down by Decore, and they are sending everybody forward. Why not?
The heavy artillery's coming up. Stevens and all the big guys from the back. Really interesting time for Everton now. Got to see it out and not give Boreham Wood an opportunity to get back in.
Reece Welsh and Isaac Price, two 18-year-olds, will also be on shortly. Raymond with the free kick. Begovic comes a long way, and he claims unchallenged. And he was urged by the Everton crowd, as you can hear, to get the ball forward quickly, but just held on to it for a second.
It's the old head. The old head sees it through.
4 minutes to play. The Sports Bar coming up. Rondon on a hat-trick now. Brings the ball down. Lobs the ball towards goal, and he was offside anyway.
He's looking sharp. He wants it now, doesn't he? He wants that third goal. Just got to hold his run a little bit better.
And Welsh and Price, we're hoping the ball does go out of play, so they can get on in the final few minutes now. Coleman on the far side, under pressure from Smith, and just plays it down the line, but Boreham would have it back briefly, but Everton will now try and break themselves. Rondon almost on the ground, plays the ball around the corner wide to the far side, now wins it back from Conley, and Everton can break here, 5-on-4, and it was Dobbin who just sees the ball striking his heel down the left-hand side, but it's quickly recovered. Decore now Rondon makes the run towards the near post, wide towards Dobbin. He can attack the penalty area, twisting and turning, and he's still going beyond Rees, but Rees recovers well. Doucouré is there to help him out. Now Doucouré plays it back to Allen. Allen with the right-footed curler, blocked by the head of Stevens. Doucouré infield again towards Dobbin, and Doucouré's ball in, finding Townsend, looking to twist and turn. It's back towards Doucouré, and now Coleman. Is he taken down on the edge of the penalty area? He was, and it's a free kick for Everton behind the legendary press box pillar here, about 20 yards out.
Tired. Boreham are tired now. You know, when those goals go in, they make you a little bit leggy, make you a yard short, and it's been a difficult second half for Bournemouth.
Big moment here for Isaac Price, who has been in the Everton academy since the age of 7. Reece Welsh is another player who's been here for a long time. Allen and King come off, and two 18-year-olds come on to make their Everton debuts.
Fantastic. Always a special moment for young players to come on, no matter what time it is.
Changes as well for Boreham Wood, and it's their two forward players, Marsh and Bogan, who come off, and they've given everything. Had very little of the ball, and it will be Niall Ranger and Adrian Clifton who are coming on. Something is happening on the far side. Police and stewards are converging on somebody inside the Boreham Wood area of the ground, and one or two missiles are now being thrown from the top tier of the Bullens Road stand on the far side. I'm not sure what happened there. My eyes were drawn to the football action, but now missiles are being thrown onto the field of play, and the stewards and police are looking to restore some order there, and a bottle has now been thrown onto the pitch.
It's not good. That doesn't look good. It's a bit unsavoury right now. I think it's been a spirit in the cup tie has been great.
Well, the free kick taken is over the top from Richarlison, but our eyes are now drawn to what's happening on the far side. There are Everton supporters in the top tier of the Bullens Road stand, and there are Boreham Wood fans beneath them, and the police and stewards were dragging one or two fans out of that lower tier, and it did seem that missiles were being thrown from Everton fans in the top tier.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but it doesn't look good.
Well, a couple of people are now being ushered away by the stewards and police. There will be a minimum of 3 more minutes here, with Everton leading by 2-0. 03717 223344 is the number to call. And Everton, after one or two difficult moments in this game, took them nearly an hour to make the breakthrough, leading by 2-0. Dobbin in pursuit on this near side, but is quickly closed down by Stevens. And now a long ball forward, and Niall Ranger will chase, and he is a real blast from the past. Begovic plays it wide to the far side. Doucouré picking out Kenny. And we'll talk about the bigger picture, Kevin. Everton have won here tonight, but they'll need to be an awful lot better in the Premier League.
Oh, 100%. I think that last third against a very stubborn Boreham Wood has proved to be difficult at times for Everton. Everton win the game, of course they do, but in the Premier League they need more quality.
Coleman with a cross into the penalty area, headed away to this near side. Dobbin will recover it. This could be the final attack of the game, and it's John Joe Kenny low in towards Coleman. It's flicked on. Stevens tries to head it back to his own goalkeeper. Rondon was sniffing in there for the hat-trick, but his glancing header is gathered by the goalkeeper.
Rondon wants that hat-trick, and maybe it was a bit of a half chance, but well held by Hammond.
And Ashby Hammond will clear downfield for Boreham Wood. A run which began in the fourth qualifying round at the Hive against Barnet is coming to an end here at Goodison Park against Everton. And they will go back to concentrating on their promotion challenge in the National League, and Everton, of course, have big games coming up towards the bottom of the Premier League, and that starts next Monday against Spurs. Now Kenny, infield again towards Dobbin. Dobbin looking to play the ball over the top with the outside of his boot to arc it in behind, looking for Rondon, but it's overhit, and it's gathered by Ashby Hammond once again. And there are some very, very weary Boreham Wood players out there now. As Ashby Hammond clears downfield, it's gathered by Dobbin for Everton. Back towards Branthwaite. Kenny. And there's a turn here for Price, and he's found Richarlison. Low ball into the penalty area. They're all trying to tee up Rondon here for the hat-trick, but it was beyond him, but it's recovered on the far side. And that's it. Boreham Wood's FA Cup fairy tale comes to an end. No shock here this evening. Everton eventually winning by 2 goals to 0, but the non-league side gave a great account of themselves. Goalless for nearly an hour here, but 2 second-half goals from Solomon Rondon have sent Everton to Selhurst Park on a tie with Crystal Palace in the quarter-finals. Full time, Everton 2, Boreham Wood 0.